What is the purpose of a television theme song? Does it really make any difference how the show is perceived by viewers and commentators, or how long it'll stay on the air? I know that for every television show I have ever been a fan of, from elementary school age to this very minute, I have to remember the song just the same. Because the theme song is most often somewhere at the beginning of the program, one of the most important goals that is achieved by the song is setting the mood, and establishing the audience's expectations for what's to come, be it laughs, tears, suspense, curiosity, or knowledge. Some comedic programs start off energized and peppy to get you excited and keep you from touching that dial. Shows like Family Guy achieve this with the actual animated characters shown singing the theme song leading up to the opening credits.
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely?
The Family Guy opening sets the stage for big laughs and a dysfunctional family dynamic. The lyrics mention violence in movies and sex on TV and good old-fashioned values, drawing attention to the ubiquitous lack of positive moral value in the media and the drastic rush of violence and sex in the past few decades. It also sets you up for the theme of ironic humor, knowing that Family Guy has hardly parts of humor involving violence and sex. Other comedic programs like Saturday Night Live make the introduction of the players as much a part of the opening as the stirring jazz in the background. We see glimpses of the players living it up in downtown New York City as we hear the crystal clear voice of Don Pardo list their names, leading up to the musical guest, and finally, the celebrity host. The fast and upbeat jazz glamorizes New York, a key characteristic of the show, and portrays it as the most swinging place there is. Workaholics, in spite of being a relatively new program, already has a cult following and encapsulates everything the show is about in its opening theme song.
I'm fresh. Fresh.
The soundbites of so-called bro sayings like "I'm fresh" and "you gotta be fresh" tell the audience all they need to know about what they have signed on for. That this is a program that not only doesn't take itself seriously, but also that it is geared towards a younger, college-age demographic. What about shows that are geared towards a much younger demographic? SpongeBob SquarePants is one of the only shows that my sister watched, that I watched, and that my brother is now watching. And to this day, when it's on, we all sing along.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh! Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
The parrot voice is lighthearted and childish, and he sings about, you guessed it, SpongeBob SquarePants. The show is all about under-the-sea misadventures, and as the voice even explicitly asks, "Are you ready, kids?" is clearly for children. Other theme songs, especially for children's programming, not only give a sneak peek into the kind of animated aesthetic, but also the underlying message of the show.
Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If we could learn to work and play and get along with each other.
The opening to Arthur demonstrates the major themes of sibling rivalry, outdoor activities, and most importantly, positive moral value. Ziggy Marley overtly sings about the wonders of working together and that believing in yourself is the place to start. Parents and children alike have been saying yes to Arthur for nearly 2 decades. Some television theme songs become completely synonymous with the show, and in social settings, many other ideas and concepts. We've all heard someone hum the Final Jeopardy music. While waiting for someone to make a decision, or adding pressure to an already stressful situation. Mere seconds of a tune become marked in the minds of a frequent listener. It is quite odd, but some extremely common noises like the ticking of a clock can conjure up memories of watching 60 Minutes and the shock and satisfaction the show gave you as you learned an abundance of new and engaging information. Hey, you might say to yourself, I ought to get back into tuning in. From the perspective of the show's production company, this is a great thing because it can make a listener become a viewer. Whether the show is a masterpiece or pure rubbish, the company is after high ratings and viewership first and foremost. Many comedies, both animated and live action, have theme songs that, without the use of lyrics, set a setting and a tone for the rest of the show. theme songs like Modern Family, and 30 Rock, are extremely lively and energized, setting the audience's expectations for a fun and silly ride through goofy characters and fast-paced humor. Oftentimes, if the show is a satire of a particular environment or workplace, the theme song will reflect this. In the case of Parks and Recreation, the trumpet and upbeat, almost military drumline set the setting of a professional and hard-working government workplace, and the show itself almost acts as the punchline, saying, "Ha! It's not actually a stuffy, overly patriotic show like the theme song implied." In the case of Archer, the music is cool, sleek, seductive, and reminiscent of James Bond, not unlike the character of Archer himself. Along with Parks and Recreation, the theme sets the form, a cool, sleek, on-top-of-things secret agent operative, and the show exploits this form. Some television programs that were taken off the air but recently resurrected, like Arrested Development,
Now the story of a wealthy family who lost everything, and the one son who had no choice but to keep them all together. It's Arrested Development.
literally spell out what is to be expected of the show, and in case this is your first time watching, gives you all the background you need in order to catch up, all set to a fast-paced, whimsical background. You know right away that the show is about a wealthy family that lost all their money, and that this is a comedy thanks to the fun and breezy music and whistling. The theme songs for dramas can be just as telling as to what the viewer should and does expect. The opening for Dexter, is sleek, calculated, and dark, all very fitting for a show about a serial killer killing serial killer. Once again, you have a pretty good idea of what kind of show you're in for. For Mad Men, the theme song, like the show itself, is a modern twist on a retro time period, as the slow and steady violins sink into a more seductive and enticing ending. Utilizing content that many if not most audience members find obnoxious or off-putting has become a huge marketing tool. This is also the case for some shows, like Weeds.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same.
Whether you love or hate the song, it gets under your skin, and hours after the show has ended, you are left replaying it in your head. This is truly the golden purpose of a theme song. The audience's expectations are set for just what they are in for, and they feel satisfaction when they see that these expectations have been met. The song and the show become one and the same, and one forever complements the other.